Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Sebastian. I'm the marketing manager for Thera Wellness, and today I am with Grace Kalakay, owner of Acupuncture by Grace, located here in Gambrills, Maryland. And today we're also going to be talking about Grace's history and experience with biofield technology, and we're going to be talking about the Thera Wellness device and how it can be a huge benefit to someone's practice and in the overall wellness industry. So let's get right to it. All right, so Grace, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Well, my name is Grace Kalakay. I am a licensed acupuncturist here in Gambrills, Maryland. Love my job.
How long have you been doing acupuncture for altogether?
I have been an acupuncturist for, actually going on 10 years.
Okay.
I can't believe it. Wow, time flies.
Yeah. So we talked briefly over the phone, I would say 2 or 3 months ago, and I was kind of inspired by your story because you were telling me how you first got into it. It's been a while, but you told me you gave me a little sneak preview on your origin story, how you got introduced to it. Something about how you didn't initially, you weren't interested in anything about wellness or health, but you somehow just fell into it. Could you kind of touch up on that, how you first got started?
Yes. You said with acupuncture?
Not just acupuncture, but just, health and wellness in general.
Yeah. So, we'll go way back. I was just about 20 years old. I was studying abroad.
Okay, you were in Europe, right?
I was.
Yeah.
I was in Brussels, Belgium.
Okay.
I was studying European politics, actually.
Wow, completely different.
I had goals to, work as a diplomat or for the EU.
Yeah.
So there I was, and I happened to be having tons of health issues at the time.
Right.
I actually was stumping doctors here in the U.S. And they literally said to me, listen, we're not sure what's going on with you. We're kind of in a watch and wait approach at this moment since we can't seem to figure out, what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, okay, I guess I'm this medical mystery. Mm-hmm. I really didn't think much about it, didn't even mention it to the physician that I saw in Europe.
Yeah.
But I heard about a physician there that had this frequency machine, and I just wanted to give it a try. I was always kind of trying to find new things to do for my health, and I hopped on this machine, and I'll tell you, I was horrified. I went to this doctor, and he was telling me about all these frequencies that he was finding in me. These are frequencies associated with viruses, bacteria, heavy metals. Yeah. And I just told him, I'm like, listen, I don't know what to do with this information that you're giving me right now.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you initially go in for? For what kind of, without going into detail? I know you said you had a lot of health issues, but.
And remember, I really just went in there just to have the experience. Uh-huh. I never mentioned that I was having any health issues. I was never trying to, didn't expect anything at all. Mm-hmm. I just heard about this, fancy machine that he had, and I wanted to give it a try. Mm-hmm. So I, again, horrified. He told me what he found in me, and he assured me I was going to also receive a therapy. So I received the therapy. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know, I felt so much better, and the things that I was dealing with just magically disappeared. And I didn't even call home just yet. I just thought, let's just see how this plays out. Yeah. Let's see, how I feel in a few months. But by the time I got home from Europe later that summer, I told my mother the news. I'm like, you won't believe this. I saw this doctor over there. It turns out that I had these things that were kind of hanging out in the background, including viruses and bacteria. And I said, he said that he found a chemical in me called trichloroethylene. And I said, I don't even know what that is. And I was really more horrified by that. I mean, it's a chemical.
Yeah.
And she said, oh my goodness, that was the chemical. The day that we brought you home from the hospital as a newborn in Rhode Island, there was a notice on our front door saying there's been a trichloroethylene exposure in the drinking water in the reservoir. And they were telling all the residents not to drink the water. And she said, you were born and we were so worried, but you seemed okay. So we just didn't think anything of it. And here we are 20 years later, I was having these mysterious health issues, and this doctor tells me about this trichloroethylene. So we were really impressed. I mean, I didn't tell this doctor anything about myself other than I was a student from the States. I didn't even tell him I was born in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But he found this chemical that apparently I was exposed to. My mother never told me. So, I was really impressed. I brought my family members to see him as well. We all flew over there to see this guy. Here, fast forward all these years later, the 2020 pandemic, the coronavirus came around. Gosh, and remember what a scary time that was.
Yeah, it was for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't know what this virus was really all about, and it was really killing people left and right, and it was kind of mysterious, and people were on these ventilators, but they were still dying, and we weren't sure how it spread. There were so many questions. So really, while I was home, while everybody else was too, just kind of maybe reassessing and rethinking, what am I going to do with this, virus, and how should I shift my practice to benefit my patients?
Yeah.
And I remembered that there was this idea that there's like a machine that can detect frequency and even dormant, viruses and bacteria and even chemicals in that frequency state. So I sought out this machine in particular, and lo and behold, yes, there is a model here in the US. So I was thrilled, purchased it, and now it's come full circle. Now I have it here in my practice.
Yeah. So for any healthcare professional out there that's watching, this is just a great alternative service that they can kind of add, or another modality, I guess you could say, they can add to their practice. Because from what I understand, acupuncturists, they're really only in business for just one service pretty much, from my understanding. They just start doing the sole service of acupuncture, but nothing else really other than that, correct? Or there's other applications that they include in their services, or?
Well, I'll say that no matter what the practice is, physician, acupuncturist, chiropractor, physical therapist, social worker, psychotherapist, you name it. There will always be people that stump us. People that will, don't respond in the way that, they should respond to, certain therapies and treatments.
Yeah.
There are always people with all fields in that way. I mean, especially I feel like acupuncturists, we get a lot of those, right? Because we usually are the last stop for people, almost everyone that comes through my door, has tried so many different other specialties and therapies, and I'm really the last stop. I really get the most extreme of the extreme cases because of that. So
like a last resort kind of destination.
Yeah. But even still, I mean, I have a lot of physicians that come to see me for acupuncture, and they tell me I send you the patients I just don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
So even doctors will have patients that, they just kind of throw up their shoulders and I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
So these are the types of patients and clients that could benefit from Thera Wellness.
Okay.
So Thera can do this. So Thera can look deeper and find out, what is going on or what may be happening that somebody isn't as resilient, or they don't respond as well to traditional treatments.
Or just it wasn't immediately noticed or picked up by other practitioners. So how do you how would you as a practitioner recommend this device to other colleagues or healthcare professionals?
It's really interesting because people travel from all over to come lay on this machine. There's a lot of other practitioners and even colleagues who are interested in Thera Wellness, and they feel nervous about bringing into their clinic, nervous about learning it, or the purchase of it. So then I end up treating all of their clients and patients as well. What I would say is that, Thera Wellness it's incredible. It's an incredible machine. It's an incredible investment. And there is some time to get to know how to use it. It took me about 3 months of really being with it and learning how to use it before bringing it to my clinic. But my goodness, it is amazing to be able to offer this to people. I have literally had patients tell me, they are completely different because of Thera. They no longer have the digestive issues or the skin issues or, the brain fog. So yeah, it's certainly made a huge impact in my patients.
So it's added a ton of value to your overall practice, because I think you mentioned, when we talked briefly over the phone, I think you said it was like it was a huge hit when you first started using it.
Yeah.
And I think you just saw like an increase in foot traffic like right off the bat, right?
Yeah, we can just go ahead and talk about that too. Sure, it's beneficial for the patient and they're going to love it, and you're going to be able to give them something else, in addition to what you might already be doing.
Yeah.
But also, it's lucrative. It can be really lucrative. Here I am in Gambrills, people have traveled from New Jersey, from Virginia, from all over to get on this machine. And it's a special, unique therapy that not very many people have. So it's lucrative.
And how easy is it to operate, would you say, for someone that's considering purchasing it? Was there a lot of training involved for you, or?
It's not a difficult machine to operate, but it does take time to learn. Anyone could learn it. Anyone. It's not, again, it's simple. It just does take some getting used to. So, I really took about 3 months before bringing it into my practice.
To really learn it?
Learn it.
Yeah, so you can actually utilize it properly on your clients.
Of course,
Okay.
but it's not difficult.
Yeah.
I would say really anyone could learn it, but just to know that it's not going to maybe be something that you just plug in and set up shop. There'll be some learning involved. This was actually during the time of the pandemic when I got this machine. So now there's in-person, I guess conferences and maybe even trainings, but I didn't have that. So it was all online through webinars through Thera, but I had a lot of support too. There were a few people that I had direct contact with that I could reach out to if I had any questions.
Okay, so
and
you
I
had
certainly
resources,
did that. And I certainly did that.
Yeah. All right. So I know not a lot of business owners out there are going to be transparent or open about their revenue numbers of their business, but I think you did mention that you're okay with kind of opening up about your return on investment with this device. So could you tell us a little bit of kind of what you see per week or per month in terms of numbers? Or
I can talk numbers for sure. Think about my investment for like acupuncture. That grad school was $70,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And when I started practicing, I really felt the pressure to pay back those $70,000 in loans. So certainly, imagine, if I wanted to charge hundreds of dollars per treatment, I would have an extremely difficult time paying that off, getting people in the door. So I really wanted to reach as many people with the Thera Wellness device as possible. So I did what I did when I graduated from acupuncture school. I advertised a reasonable price, so I started off with just $90 for a 50-minute session with the Thera Wellness device. And very quickly, I was actually surprised. I didn't really know how people would take to Thera. It is a different type of thing. People don't normally think about the world in the terms of frequency, even though that is the reality of the world.
But you still went ahead and took a little risk on this, because you said you didn't know how people would respond.
Well, everyone loved it. I was planning for maybe 10 Thera sessions a week. It was like immediately I was doing 20 Thera sessions a week. Everybody wanted to get on this machine and experience it. And hey, it was $90. Why not? Why not try this machine? And then over time, I've been increasing the price. So now I've just increased it to $105. So now that's what my new charge is. Again, still a 50-minute.
So so with that said, you'd say that it's greatly affected your business growth in a short period amount of time. So you'd say it's also increased your clientele base, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like more so than just the acupuncture alone. You've merged the two services together, and you'd say they kind of complement each other, or is it most of your clients coming in for?
Oh, I'm really glad that you brought that up. So as a licensed acupuncturist, I mean, it's kind of nice, right? Because we can hear there's already a time where somebody's laying on a treatment table and receiving acupuncture. So now we can add these like healing frequencies. So it actually fits really seamlessly, I say, into an acupuncturist practice.
Yeah.
And you know, people who are more open to acupuncture, they're more open to other forms of therapy. So, you know, frequency therapy.
Right.
But you know, I will say too, I think that it was helpful to hear, one of my patients is an actual physicist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of really neat buildings around here. You know, we're close to DC, so we've got like NASA, you know, we've got Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab is down there. NIH. I mean, we really, you name it. So one of my patients, looked at it and was like, oh yeah, I know what this is. You know, and he was able to explain to me, like from a physicist mind, how it works. And that was really interesting.
Oh, wow.
So so what he said, and this is really helpful, you know, what he said is that how this treatment really works from a physicist point of view. One thing I really wanted to mention about the Thera Wellness device is its ability to detect these dormant viruses, bacteria, and in my case, right, with my history with frequency medicine, chemicals. And when I first brought this machine into my clinic, you know, I really felt like chemicals, you know, that's what I need to find in my patients, you know, because that's my own history with the machine. So how that doctor found the trichloroethylene match in me is that he had a small glass vial like this charged with the frequency for trichloroethylene, and he put it into a machine and it found a frequency match in me. So this idea that I could, you know, have basically a category of vials, hundreds even, looking for frequency matches in my patients, this was absolutely thrilling to me. And then to be able to even tell them exactly, you know, what the machine was picking up. So remember, this is frequency. So every frequency, every single thing in this room resonates at a certain frequency. And then we can actually measure and identify those frequencies. And then in the case of the therapy sessions, so this is when I want to talk to you about a patient that I have who's a physicist. And he told me how this actually works. So he said that this vial would then go into the machine, programs would be running to send to the patient. And I have been saying things like neutralizing the virus or bacteria or whatever it is. But really what's happening is he said that it's sending that frequency back to the patient, enlarging it in the body, and then therefore making it easier for the immune system to break up, which is so fascinating.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So it's just a reminder that we go through our lives every day being exposed to frequencies, you know, of all kinds. I mean, stressful frequencies are all around us, you know, the radiation from the sun or different, you know, chemicals and viruses, bacteria that we get exposed to. And our immune systems are always constantly breaking those up and resolving them so that they don't affect us, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But there might be some time where we were, you know, possibly when we were young, when we weren't having the best, healthiest immune system quite yet. We were still developing, or maybe we went through a time of stress and we were maybe nutrient deficient, or had a period of high stress, or had too many stressful frequencies that get to us at once, you know, too many viruses, too many bacteria, sure, maybe even a chemical.
Yeah.
And then we have this like overload, essentially. So this is what I love about the Thera machine. This is my favorite thing about what it can do. Yeah. Because I truly believe that this is what makes people so vulnerable to disease, to just basically not being their best well self, is the frequency load that they're carrying around, and in many cases even since childhood. Yeah. So like many common childhood viruses come up on here. And I see it happen a lot with patients. You know, they'll come in and I'll test them on the machine, and I'll take a bunch of vials and I'll say, yeah, this is what came up for you. These are the frequencies that were detected. And they'll say, oh yeah, I had strep throat as a kid so many times. Like I had it so many times, they told me I was immune to it. Or they might say, yes, oh, Epstein-Barr came up. I had mono when I was like 15, you know, but then now here they're 60 years old and now they're having like these health issues that the doctors can't quite explain.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wanted to touch up on, when we talked a couple months ago, you said something to me that kind of stuck with me till this day. You know, you said I can't remember word for word what it was, but you said you had this obligation or this drive to kind of, you know, roll your sleeves up and kind of get to work after finding out about Thera.
Oh
and
my
so,
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, if you could kind of just elaborate on that again, because, yeah, I don't know, it's just like, it's such a profound statement to me when someone, they discover something and they actually want to do something to make a difference in the world. Like, money completely aside, but I just love the way that you said that. And can you explain like why you had that drive, that urge to help people with this device specifically?
Well, I have that same drive with acupuncture, and I'll tell you, that's a personal thing for me too. As a child, I had family members that I watched, like, that had chronic pain and had chronic health issues, and I always felt so helpless watching people suffer. And I truly believe that for whatever reason right now, I feel like our medical community they're really they're leaving people in the dark, and they're leaving them stranded with no answers. So many of my patients, honestly, they get referred to me from Hopkins even, you know, because even at Hopkins, like, it seems like we've stopped being curious about the body. We stopped trying to figure out mysterious illnesses, and I'll have doctors just say, I don't know what to do with these people. Here, why don't you try to deal with them? And so I just feel like, I have this thing, and again, it's probably because of my own childhood, where I just can't stand seeing people suffer. And so when I love having this Thera Wellness machine, because in addition to my acupuncture practice, it gives me an opportunity to be like, okay, just get on this Thera machine. Okay, your doctor doesn't know what to do with you. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can find, you know, that you're carrying around, like, dormant frequency wise. And then help to neutralize that so that somebody can live a happy, healthy, pain-free life.
Make an effort for better living, you know, see if it makes any sort of difference.
And I say it like that, roll up my sleeves and let me just do this, because honestly,
there's not enough people, I guess, that does that.
I mean, I literally thought, what if I bring this wellness machine into my clinic and I help one person with it? For me, that's worth it.
That makes a huge,
and that's really, and that's how I felt with acupuncture too, you know, because one person that is not well, that affects everyone, right? It affects their family, their community.
So could you go into any other, you know, potential applications that you might be using this for currently or in the future?
Well, you know, in addition to looking for those stressful frequency matches using those glass vials, you know, even our organs, when they're healthy and in balance, resonate at certain frequencies, which is really neat to think about. And so, there are actually programs on this machine that can specifically, like, send the healthy frequencies for, like, the liver or the gallbladder or even the heart. So in that case, applicators are used, like, over those organs, and then programs are scheduled and run on patients that benefit those organs specifically.
And that's done over multiple sessions, you would say, or it can be done in one session?
That's a really good question. And it's just speaks again to there's just no one size fits all with any medicine.
Of course,
so it's always hard for me to determine. I always tell patients, let's see how you respond to one treatment or, you know, a couple of treatments. Because some people, like, they do one treatment or, you know, one therapy session, and they come back and they, like, feel like so much better. Like, their symptoms have dramatically improved.
Yeah, of course.
Improved. So I just thought, okay, well, let's do a few more, and then we might just reassess here, see what's different.
Yeah. But like you said, it varies from person to person.
Yeah.
And that's the same with even modern medicine. Like, the way one person responds to, X, Y, or Z, session or treatment or what have you, doesn't mean the next person is going to react the same exact way. And so it applies here with, with frequency medicine.
Yes, it's such a reminder too that any alternative therapies, we really do have a hard job here because if one person doesn't respond, it'll be, oh, well, that didn't work, so that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that's how all therapies are. That's how medications are. Not everybody responds to medications in the same way. Sometimes it takes a trial and error. Sometimes it takes a different dose.
Yeah.
That's just a part of having alternative medicine. We have a real critical eye, and we have tough skin because of it. But that's the truth, and so
people shouldn't be discouraged by that. That's I guess the whole point, right? Because they could go in for go in once, not really feel anything, or but the trick is to maybe it's the second time around that'll actually make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people really need to if they're trying this out, that's what they gotta understand. So, but I'm sure you've seen it firsthand yourself, where people maybe didn't react the first time, but did the second, or the very first time they just had an incredible difference in results. So
I will say that I found it to be like acupuncture in that I'll know, like if there's been several therapy sessions and there's no response, I'll be honest with people and just say, maybe this isn't the thing. You know? And I do that with acupuncture as well. And
on that note, a doctor could say the same exact thing with modern medicine. Like, this dosage isn't right at all. It's like, or it just doesn't work.
And that's okay.
So, that's okay.
That's just how.
That's just how medicine in the industry works. So
and how our bodies work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And with that said, too, I will say that immune system health, like the integrity of the immune system, I think has a big role in somebody's response to Thera. But again, somebody's response to acupuncture too, and somebody's response to other therapies. But maybe that's why I found that in particular, children respond really well to Thera. I'll find that they respond really quickly, and maybe it's because their immune systems they're
just
more
naturally
robust.
better.
And then too, maybe their frequency load hasn't been there as long.
Hasn't been compromised like adults has.
Exactly. Especially in the case when we think about, viruses that even damage the nervous system, right? And in the long term, sometimes that is actually permanent. So the younger somebody gets in, I think the better.
Yeah, absolutely. In summary, do you have any words of encouragement for anyone that's brand new to the healthcare industry, or even some of the veteran healthcare professionals out there today, specifically in regards to this device?
I'll say that Thera, I believe, is an excellent investment, and it's a worthwhile investment, and you'll see great return on that investment. And really, I'm still learning about ways to use it in my business. In fact, recently I have been using it on pets. So I'll have patients bring in a hair sample from their pets that I can test and actually make a treatment, a mineral water tincture treatment with what I find. And I have had so many amazing stories with pets in this machine.
Okay.
But
so you've had actually pets in your practice. I thought it was you were just doing only humans, but
it works really well. It doesn't take a lot of hair, just like a pinch of hair from a pet, and you can test it on the Thera machine. And I've seen amazing things like cysts disappearing on pets, tumors going down, pets looking more energetic and seeming younger, seeming like they're pups again. It's so exciting because of course we love our pets. I love my pooches.
Of course.
But I truly believe that it's a wonderful investment, and I got a lot of great support in learning the Thera machine. I felt completely supported and completely ready to bring it in my practice after I did the training. And for people who already have it, just feel really excited and just know that you're going to always be learning about different programs and always getting new vials to test on people. And just be encouraged, because it's going to just continue to surprise you and grow your practice. And
yeah, that speaks to the versatility of this machine, or this device. It's just so, it covers such a broad range of, applications, and long term, like you said, it's just such a great investment. I hope this kind of helps out anyone that's curious or inquiring about the device or frequency therapy in general. But we just want to thank you again, Grace, for letting us use your office to film this interview. That's all we have for you today. So hopefully we get to work with you again in the near future. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to Grace. You can reach out to Thera Wellness as well. We're located in Bethesda, Maryland. Do you have any socials or immediate contact that you want to let people know of?
Acupuncture by Grace is my handle. Yeah, you can find me
Instagram,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thera Wellness as well. We are therawellness.us on Instagram. And then Facebook, just type in Thera Wellness in the search engine and we'll pop up. And then the website, www.therawellness.us. And again, feel free to reach out to us or Grace, and we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thanks.